Good morning and welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me at the market site in Times Square, we have Caleb Silver back with us. He's the editor-in-chief over at Investopedia. Cryptocurrency, it's been in the news. We're going to take a deep dive into Crypto 101. What is it? How do I trade it? And why is it in the news right now? Caleb, as always, it's great to have you with me.
Thanks for having me.
At market site, now tell us, what is cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency is digital currency, basically backed by encryption in a decentralized network. Now, I know that sounds complicated, but think about it for a second. It's a digital currency that is not backed by gold. It's not backed by the dollar. It's a digital currency that we all agree on the price in a distributed ledger, and I'll explain what that means in a moment. But basically, it's digital currency.
And can you trade it like a stock? How does one trade this?
You can absolutely trade it, and you can trade it among other owners or buyers and sellers of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. It is starting to get regulated by some financial regulators. So it is a tradable security, though it is not tradable like a stock or a currency like foreign exchange currency or a commodity.
All right, let's go back to the technology, the distributed ledger technology. Let's pull up a chart, our first one on blockchain. This is the actual technology that cryptocurrency is run off of.
Right. So I know this seems complicated, but think of blockchain as a ledger, a digital ledger, a ledger where you might put what you bought and what you sold on a piece of paper. It's a digital ledger held in the cloud by the users of the technology. So I know that on the blockchain, I can see when a digital currency like a Bitcoin was created, when it was bought and sold, and it has a digital signature on it. That's what people like about it that trade and use Bitcoin. They like the fact that it's decentralized, not run by the government or a central bank, but by users, peer-to-peer users, people like you and me, in the cloud, in the digital space, but it has our signature on it. So Bitcoin is a digital currency that was born out of the blockchain, the first and the most popular.
All right, now, when you get stock, you issue shares. On our next chart, we see that crypto is actually mined. What does that mean?
Right, so cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or the other coins that we call altcoins, they're not like shares of a company, fractions of a company like stock. Instead, they are coins that are mined, and they are created through technology, through the mining or the programming to create additional coins. In the case of Bitcoin, when it was created 10 or more years ago by Satoshi Nakamoto, nobody knows if that's who it actually was, specified that would only be 21 million Bitcoins ever created. So that already sets the supply limit on the amount of Bitcoin that could ever be created in the world. And to create new coins, they have to be mined. And you see whenever people talk about Bitcoin mining, they look at bunch of computers strung together with high processors. They're doing computing, software programming to create new coins based on the protocol established by the creators of Bitcoin. You can only create so many, and when you create a coin, you actually get a reward for doing so in the form of Bitcoin. But once coins are created, or if you own Bitcoins, or you want to buy them, you can buy them or sell them through exchanges, through holding them in a digital wallet, or holding them in a wallet on a company that supports the holding and buying and selling of cryptocurrency.
Now, is Bitcoin the only cryptocurrency that's available out there?
Absolutely not. There are thousands, and there's a new one born every day almost. So Bitcoin's the most popular. It gets most of the attention, but there's plenty of others, and those are called altcoins. And you see them popping up all the time. There's an Ethereum, there's a Litecoin, there's Bitcoin Cash, a derivative of Bitcoin. There are literally thousands of them, and when a cryptocurrency is created, it is brought forth to the public through what's called an ICO. So that is an initial coin offering, different than an IPO, something that you see here at the Nasdaq all the time, and that's an ICO backed by a white paper, a research paper that defines the methodology behind and the software and the algorithm behind that coin, so you can understand if you want to own it, because each coin serves a different purpose.
Right. Well, it sounds like you're actually assigning a value to software.
It is.
Right.
It is. And the beauty of the blockchain and why people like it is once the value is assigned, everybody knows what it is. Mm-hmm. There aren't these mysterious movements, although that does happen from time to time, which is why regulators are so interested. But you know how many Bitcoins there are out there, and you know who bought and who sold based on that distributed ledger that is available to everybody in that universe.
Why is it in the news so much? Why do we see, coming out of Washington, D.C., they seem to really be focused on this week?
Well, Bitcoin's always in the news because the price fluctuates and has become very volatile, and it rose up beyond 20,000 back in 2017. It's back around 10,000 right now. I think it's in the news right now for a couple reasons. One of the big ones is that Facebook, the big social media network, announced plans to roll out its own digital currency called LibraCoin. And it got some very interesting backers and partners in this, including MasterCard, including Square, including Uber even, who will represent who will offer to use or be available to use the Libra coin. And that Libra coin, Facebook has 2.7 billion users. They want to use it as a digital currency to allow people to transact on the platform. So they're creating their own digital currency, and regulators, including the President of the United States, are casting a lot of doubt on whether that's going to be able to go forward, because they think, and the perception is that Bitcoin and other altcoins offer an avenue for nefarious activity online. So drug trafficking, sex trafficking, weapons trafficking. And there have been examples of networks in the cryptocurrency universe where that kind of activity has happened in the past, but that kind of activity happens with every currency.
Well, of course. And I would imagine that they don't want to take the central banking element out of it either.
That's the whole thing.
Right.
If Libra coin or any of these other coins become more mainstream, the central bank of the United States, or any central bank around the world, has no authority over it. So it is outside of the purview of the United States government, financial regulators, global governments that want to control it. And you can't control it because it is controlled on a peer-to-peer network in the digital world where regulators really have no jurisdiction.
Well, there are case studies that it is serving the underbanked, which is a positive element of cryptocurrency and the technology that it's built around. Do you think this could become mainstream in more developed nations?
I think it can, and I think it probably will, and it's already starting to happen, because a lot of developing nations are much more mobile-based than we are here in the United States. In fact, in places like Africa, that is their method of transacting through mobile payments. So the mobile payment space on its own is huge. I think Bitcoin and some of the other altcoins that were created as a means to help the underbanked and to also create less friction in transacting money transfers. So one of the big things that happens around the world, and if you know people that have family abroad, is the cost of sending money abroad or getting money into the United States is extremely expensive, and there's a lot of steps to that process. That's not the case with cryptocurrencies. That's all done via the blockchain in most cases.
All right, Caleb, thanks so much for the insight.
You're welcome.
And thank you for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.